Hey guys, it's Core Ross and World War 6 News. So, Rainbow Six Siege has a huge problem and it is onboarding for new players or returning players to Rainbow Six Siege. And today we'll break down what the developers are doing this year to try and solve this problem by attacking it from multiple different directions. So, first of all, there's going to be, of course, the shooting range that we already have, which will help with your basic accuracy, which is very important in Siege. Then on top of that, we've got playable missions. These are little training missions that are very simple where you go in as a brand new player and learn to do some basic stuff with the idea that there might well be one of these training missions for every single operator at some point in the future. And the example we've seen of this is extremely simple. It's kind of in a shooting range style area and you move in and you get told what to do by Zero, who is Sam Fisher, and he tells you like go up, assassinate someone, move up, breach a wall, whatever, and he's just going to run you through a kind of scenario quickly, and it's all going to be up against probably very static enemies and things like that to play with. And that brings a new player up to speed on the destruction in Siege, along with, say, gadget interactions and stuff like that. And real basic stuff like what's a soft wall, what's a hard wall, what can counter hard breachers, all that jazz. But the one I'm going to talk about today and do a deep dive into is the machine learning AI enemies that will be getting introduced into Rainbow Six Siege in the future, specifically with Season 4. And this will most likely be a brand new training playlist that you can jump into either with friends or matchmake with randoms, and you'll go up against an AI team. These guys will actually set up the site like normal. They'll create rotations just like a real player would in the same positions, and they'll also move around the map just like a real player would as well. And apparently, they're just basically learning from how real players play in order to then play just like a real team would. So very fun, and I'm actually quite looking forward to seeing how this is. And the big thing that attracts me to this new feature, which I may not use myself, but I was recently playing with a friend of mine who played Siege for like 3-4 years at least, and then stopped, came back recently because he was like, you know what, I'm kind of interested in trying it out again, jumped in, and was just overwhelmed with everything. And even though I was there to help him guide through it, he was like, I'm just not going to be able to put enough time in to learn all of this again. Along with all the new operators, the new gadgets, the new secondary gadgets, the new gameplay mechanics, everything that's changed is, just simply overwhelming for him to jump back into. And that's where this new AI playlist, which in Season 4 will be defender focused, so it'll be a defender team and you'll always be the attacker going up against them. But in the future, they're going to add in an attacker team as well, but that'll come probably in year 9 at some point. So focusing on this defender playlist at some point in the future, I love the idea of it. I think being to jump in and play against and possibly scalable difficulties as well, where you could have them be pretty rubbish at shooting, but they set up properly so you can get an idea of how to use a Thatcher or Thermite combo by actually playing it in a kind of simulated game where you are fighting a team that is using their gadgets correctly, setting up all the defenses as a normal player would, so you can go up against it, maybe even literally bandit tricking and stuff like that, so you can get an idea of how to counter that before jumping in against real players. Because of course, once you're fighting real players, you're just in Siege, die all the time until you learn, which can be very hard for new players or even returning players. Now let's talk about potential limitations with this mode. So first of all, we have seen gameplay, it's pre-alpha, but we see a 3v3 team. So 3 attackers, which are the humans, going up against 3 AI. So it's very possible that the 3 AI might be the maximum AI you can have in this mode, or it might just be down to the pre-alpha state, and maybe it'll be a 5v5 with the full thing. I also wonder how much horsepower is needed for this, because of course I doubt these AI are playing on the local machines that are obviously in the multiplayer games. I would assume it's server side. That's going to have to be at least a decent upgrade in server capabilities. Now, they use either Amazon or Microsoft Azure servers, so they might need to shell out some money for higher powered servers just to handle all these machine learning AI, but I don't know about the back end at all. But certainly it's possible we might see it limited to 3v3. And we also get to see them playing on quite a good selection of maps, so my hope is that all the maps will be available, or at least maybe all the competitive ones will be available so you can like try out all the ranked ones. It's also another great way to learn new maps as well, because you can jump in and you can attack on these maps over and over again up against AI, hopefully with some sort of difficulty scaler when it comes to their aim, and I think it would be incredible to learn new maps that way. Now, I will also say that out of everything we've got this year, this is the thing that I expect will probably get delayed. Like, I am definitely pessimistic on this being something that launches on time with Season 4. I could easily see it getting pushed into the next year content. But if it does reach us with a Season 4 launch, which would be around about November, I think this is going to be one hell of an upgrade for the onboarding process for Rainbow Six Siege, and fingers crossed that it works as good as advertised, because I might even jump in myself every so often and play stuff and maybe even use it for the odd test of stuff, because if they're setting up with like legit setups and I can actually go in and try different strategies and different kind of gadgets to counter it, that could be a hell of a lot of fun. Not to mention, this could also lead one day to a complete overhaul of Terrorist Hunt, because imagine that the new Terrorist Hunt playlist, let's say in year 10 or whatever, is basically the normal kind of attack defense setup, but you're up against the terrorists. You know, they don't have their special gadgets or anything like that the siege operators have, but maybe there's more of them. So instead of having 5 guys on defense, there's like 30 of them defending the objective site, and they're making rotations, they're setting up shields, and they're almost playing like humans when you go up against them. And I think that would be freaking cool for a new version of Terrorist Hunt. Whether those numbers are doable, I do not know. But yeah, I could see some more interesting mechanics coming in. And you could also imagine stuff like the bad guy Deimos, you know, being introduced as some sort of AI character that goes around absolutely destroying you on your Terrorist Hunt matches and stuff like that. But that is jumping far too far ahead, because right now we're going to potentially get a 3v3 Defender AI playlist in the future for Season 4 that you can jump into with your friends, or probably solo as well, or matchmake with random players and try tactics, learn maps, play a bit more casually than you normally would with just real humans, potentially doing runouts on you and stuff like that. Although, who knows, maybe the AI will also do runouts if they're based on real players and they've learned from real players. They might well actually do runouts, or they might be hard coded not to leave the map at all. So yeah, I'd love to know what you think of this new feature, and is it something that you are as excited as I am? Because to me, this might be one of those features that kind of gets overlooked as we look at the roadmap, but as it gets closer and I start to think this could be cool and what it could lead to, this could be one of the best things for Siege, and if it works as well as advertised, I could really see it being one of the best features Rainbow Six Siege has ever had, not just for brand new players or returning players, but just veterans as well, being able to jump in and test strategies or stuff in a more controlled environment where you could just have a heck of a lot of fun with the whole lot. But anyway, guys, let me know what you think of going up against machine learning AI enemies in Rainbow Six Siege in Season 4. That'll be around about November.